It is a cold day in Texas, but thank God Oda dropped some fire to warm me up on this beautiful Friday afternoon. Guys, One Piece chapter 1041 is here, and it's one of my favorite chapters I've read recently for One Piece because there's so many different plot points that are touched on, and although they're not touched on fully in detail, honestly, it's just a few panels at a time, we see a ton of important stuff from Luffy's battle with Kaido to CP0 to Hiyori, who is an absolute babe. But without further ado, let's discuss what the hell happened in chapter 1041 because there's so much to discuss as One Piece seems to have that effect on me where I can't shut up about it. Within the beginning of the chapter, it goes back to the dialogue of Momonosuke talking to Yamato, and he says that he still doesn't have the whole picture despite speaking with Zunisha and despite reading his father's journal. In fact, in his father's journal, there's actually a few missing pieces and there's still a mystery regarding why the hell Roger and Odin left. It's really interesting that this stuff is left out. Perhaps Oda traveled back in time and ripped out these pages himself so he doesn't spoil his own story, but far more likely Odin could have ripped out these pages himself because if you remember at Sabaody Archipelago, whenever Usopp asked about the secrets of this world to Rayleigh, Luffy denied all of it because he believes that the One Piece needs to be earned and achieved through the adventure itself, not through merely being told it. I think narratively speaking, that would fit with the whole theme of Rayleigh not telling Luffy and the rest of the crew about the One Piece and what it entails, because the Straw Hats will learn exactly why Roger and Odin laughed, because they'll be laughing there at Laugh Tale themselves. And it seems Zunisha has come to fight side by side, which is what we expected, and it's being commanded right now by Momonosuke awaiting its orders, and it seems that Zunisha will be the one who's taking out a ton of these Navy warships that are stationed outside. Despite all of Momonosuke's readings, he doesn't know that much though. He did learn that he can't die here, but he also admits that his father isn't a prophet and that if he were alive in today's day and age and the circumstances regarding, would he really want Wano opened up to the rest of the world? And that's a valid question. With all the things going on, it could endanger the people of Wano, but at the end of the day, Wano can no longer be isolated for all this time. Despite all the resources Wano possesses, and clearly Kaido took advantage of it, and likely other people would as well, Wano deserves to be exposed to the rest of the world and join in on everything that's going on. And Momonosuke, because of this, considers keeping the borders closed in order to protect the people of Wano, and he asks Yamato if that makes him a coward. I personally don't think it is because he's thinking of his people, he's thinking of Wano, and now Momonosuke is caught between fulfilling his father's wishes, his father's dying words, or protecting the people of Wano and going with his gut instinct. Obviously, I think at the end of this, it'll be proven to Momonosuke that opening up Wano is the most advantageous for its people, but right now, remember, Momonosuke mentally is still a child, and it's hard for him to make these super important decisions, especially given how young he is. Of course, in this chapter, we finally see the victor screen for Rhizo, and my god, this fight has been going on so long, and once again, as we've mentioned before, Rhizo was the one complaining the most at Odin's execution. Oh my god, it's super hot. And now he says it's not hot at all. This moment for Rhizo really does kind of redeem his, what he perhaps perceives as cowardice and fearfulness that he had within the boiling pot. And my god, I'm sure I would be expressing that it's hot too. But he's redeemed himself from all the complaints he had that I'm sure he's remembered for all this time after his master's death. The peak of this chapter for me, however, comes with Orochi and Komurasaki talking, and Orochi is obviously flipping out. He has no one guarding him, and Komurasaki, or as we know, obviously Hiyori, but she has her mask on, and Orochi doesn't know that she's Hiyori. She's playing her song, and Orochi is like, why the hell are you playing this music? We are in the end times within Onigashima. The whole place is on fire. We could all be dying. And it's not the appropriate time to be playing this beautiful song. And he's asking, why are you not only playing this song, but you're wearing a mask at the same time? It's kind of creepy. And we see some rubble fall on Orochi, and he's unable to transform. And as we know, his devil fruit is probably his most powerful thing that he has, because outside of that, he's really not a strong character physically, but he's unable to transform. And Hiyori tells Orochi that she put a sea prism nail within him, and as a result, obviously he can't transform. And in these next moments, I was beyond excited. She says that the song that she's been playing for Orochi all this time is called Moon Princess. And it's ironic that that's his favorite song because that's also her father's favorite song, Odin's favorite song. And we see this beautiful panel of Hiyori as a little girl playing the song for her father, saying she'll play it more and more because Odin loves it so much. And when she tells this to Orochi, we see this expression of absolute shock. All this time, Komurasaki, who we thought was Komurasaki, who's Hiyori, has been his favorite of all of the girls in all of Wano, and it's the daughter of the man he hated more than anyone. The reason Hiyori wore this mask all this time, especially when playing the song, is because she can't hide her distaste and her sorrow she has whenever she plays her father's favorite song for the man who killed him. Although it doesn't happen this chapter, I know it's about to come, and I've been waiting for it a long time because I expected Hiyori would be the one to kill Orochi, and I think right now we're leading up to that point. Orochi is now trapped under rubble, and Hiyori is in a position of power. And as we know, she is the daughter of a samurai. She stated that long ago, and I can't wait to see her, fearless as always, strike down Orochi and avenge her father. In this chapter, we also see what happened within Rhizo in his fight with CP0, and I'm not sure if we overestimated CP0 or underestimated the Whitebeard commanders, because Rhizo was able to take on some of the CP0 members and survive. I know when the CP0 members were introduced, some people were saying, oh my gosh, they're top 30 just based off speculation alone, but clearly that isn't the case. Through Rhizo's fight with CP0, he also gave time for Drake to recover, and now Drake is going to be able to take on the last member of CP0, but the notable dialogue that took place is that they get a notification from the 5 elders, and it's to eliminate Straw Hat Luffy. But obviously, how is this member from CP0 going to interfere whenever Luffy and Kaido are fighting? He would get himself killed almost instantaneously, but they said it is paramount that Straw Hat Luffy is eliminated. And this immediately made me think, why are they wanting Luffy to be eliminated right now? Is it because they anticipate his win? Or perhaps the one who did call Zunisha was in fact Luffy subconsciously through his devil fruit. We know the mentioning of this devil fruit that had its name changed long ago. The name of this devil fruit or who has it still hasn't yet been revealed. So because of this speculation, because of this mystery, it very well could be the Gomu Gomu no Mi, as we know that was stolen from a government warship by Shanks, and then eventually Shanks did meet with the Elder Stars, so perhaps he did discuss the possible nature of the devil fruit that Luffy possesses to the world government. But, you know, I'm not on board with the Shanks traitor theory, but I saw a lot of people speculating that whenever people read these panels. After this, there are a ton of panels that really relate to everything going on within Onigashima because there's so much stuff going on simultaneously. For instance, we see Carrot and Nekomamushi, we see Zoro, we see Frankie, we see Kinemon, we see Kiku, and these are all just brief panels because obviously we can't individually go through each of these characters because there's so many things going on. But through these brief panels, the mystery of Zoro is still prevalent. God knows if he's alive or if he's dead. Obviously, we don't think he's going to be dead, but Frankie calls out to him and Zoro doesn't respond. So for all we know, after this, Zoro could pull another nothing happened moment, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Before we get to the end part of this chapter, we're briefly shown once more Law and Kid absolutely exhausted, and they say whoever wins, even if it's Kaido who comes down through the ceiling, they have no strength left to fight. And this really emphasizes the importance of what Luffy has to do during this fight. He has to win or else everything is doomed. But we finally get to Luffy versus Kaido, which I think all of us were awaiting. And through this, I was a little bit baited because we did see a tiny flashback where Lin seems to have encountered Kaido for the first time when he was 15 years old and said not to trust rocks at all. And she asked Kaido when he's 15, hello, don't you know how to speak? So perhaps Kaido at one point could have been timid, he could have been shy, after all he was 15 years old, but he wasn't even speaking whenever Big Mom first encountered him. And for the briefest second, I thought we would finally get the Kaido flashback that we've been long awaiting, and I swear to God, if we don't get this flashback of Kaido from whenever he's super young and rising into the ranks and eventually becoming a Yonko, I will lose my mind, because I think this is one of the most anticipated backstories within One Piece. The fact that he once thought he would be Joy Boy, he was so excited, he recruited King and he thought he could truly change the world, but for some reason at 15 he's shy and unable to speak to Lin and doesn't even speak when they first encounter each other. This flashback is debating all of us, and I swear to God, from the bottom of my heart, I want this flashback so bad. Kaido is one of my favorite villains within One Piece, and please show us a younger Kaido. And because of this flashback, Kaido starts to reminisce and say, I've been through so much with Big Mom. In fact, they just said they would find the One Piece together, and they've been through all these things throughout Kaido's entire life. Kaido for 40-50 years has known Big Mom. And now with Big Mom defeated, he realizes this and he's angry. We get drunken Kaido once more. Kaido drunk is one of my favorite things, but unlike last time when Kaido was drunk, Luffy is not messing around, and he goes gear 4th, and he starts beating on Kaido. In one of my favorite dialogues, he says, "Don't talk to me about your dreams. Your dreams made the people of this country starve. I'm kicking you out of this country for good." My god, Luffy is not going to be talking no jutsu despite Kaido being sad about one of his close friends being defeated. Who gives a damn? Kaido has done horrendous things to this country, to the people of Wano, and Luffy is now ready to give it one all-out last go. He says it's his last time he'll be able to use gear 4th, and he won't stop swinging until he has nothing left. So this either spells the end of Luffy versus Kaido, or perhaps this kind of spells an awakening for Luffy and something else to come. Perhaps the awakening of Luffy's Devil Fruit or Gear 5th. Either way, Luffy is going to ascend in a new way we haven't seen possible if he's unable to defeat Kaido in Gear 4th. I personally don't think a Gear 4th will do enough to defeat Kaido. Kaido is an absolute monster, and I'm sure it's going to do damage to him, don't get me wrong. But I think it's going to take more than just Gear 4th from what we've seen before to defeat the King of Beast, the man who they said if it's a one-on-one, always bet on Kaido. And so for the next chapter, what I imagine is going to happen is we're going to get way more of this fight, because this fight was only on the last, I would say, 4th of the chapter, and I imagine there's going to be way more fighting next chapter, and what I am hoping more than anything, even if it's just a brief few panels, that Hiyori gets her revenge on Orochi for killing her father. No longer will she have to wear this mask and hide how she feels. This plan she's been sitting on, that's been simmering within her for years and years, awaiting her revenge, it's now before her. And I know Oda doesn't like to kill people within the story, but if anyone should be killed, Orochi should, and it is no better fitting person to do it than Hiyori. Guys, if you enjoyed this video and these ramblings of One Piece on One Piece Friday of all days, please let me know in the comment section below. I love discussing this type of stuff with y'all. Or if you have nothing to say about the chapter in the comment section below, for the sake of the algorithm and helping out my channel, as I know y'all love to do, comment, hiXtrah, make your damn bed, because the bed is unmade. And don't forget, please subscribe, as we are growing so much in this channel and I really want to hit 1,000 soon. And as always, I hope you are all having a beautiful day, and remember, be greedier.